The story opens with our female lead casually using her phone when President Yan's assistant suddenly confronts her, claiming she is special because she works beside him. Our female lead, cool and fearless, mocks her without hesitation. The assistant warns her that President Yan does not like her and tells her to leave, but instead of feeling hurt, she boldly asks if that means the assistant and President Yan secretly like each other. When the assistant proudly hints yes, our female lead shocks her by happily offering to support their future, even joking that she will help during pregnancy. Her carefree and unpredictable reaction leaves everyone speechless and sets the tone for a drama that is playful, dramatic, and completely different from the usual arranged marriage story. The tension rises when our female lead boldly tells the assistant that during divorce, she will take half of the property, and even asks her to convince President Yan. The assistant is left speechless, and at that very moment, male lead finally makes his entrance. Mr. Yan walks in with cold authority, and she looks at him thinking, this is the husband who only sends money but never comes home. The assistant nervously greets him, but he shuts her down instantly, reminding her this is his house and warning her to stay silent before she faces consequences. She runs away in fear, leaving the two alone. He throws the divorce papers at his wife and orders her to sign, but when she checks the amount, her calm expression changes. He is offering only $5 million, and she cannot believe a powerful billionaire CEO would give such a small number. She refuses and declares that she is still his legal wife. He steps closer, intrigued by her sudden change, and when she demands $100 million, he smirks and agrees without hesitation. She instantly regrets asking for so little and boldly raises it to $200 million. Challenging his pride, she demands a new agreement be drafted. He studies her carefully, asking if she truly wants this divorce. And just as the atmosphere grows heavier, a sudden call from his grandfather interrupts everything with a shocking warning that if he divorces her, he should prepare for a funeral as well, turning this simple deal into a dangerous family battle. Grandpa suddenly calls and firmly declares that he will never allow this divorce. Hearing this, our female lead quietly celebrates because in this novel world, her fate has already changed, and $200 million was almost in her hands. Mr. Yan coldly reminds her that they are legally married and she cannot just walk away. Then, he leaves without looking back. She runs after him, desperately offering 10%. 20%, even 30% discount on the divorce price. But he stops and calmly exposes her act, asking why she is pretending when she clearly does not want to leave him. His words leave her stunned. Soon, Grandpa calls again, assuring her that he arranged this marriage, and as long as he is alive, no one can bully her or force a divorce. She becomes emotional remembering her past life where she suffered from cancer at a young age, believing her life was over, never imagining she would wake up inside a novel world. In a flashback, we see the original novel version of her sacrificing herself and asking her to live this rich, powerful life in her place, promising that everything from wealth to status now belongs to her. Though confused and overwhelmed, she realizes that this second chance is real, and this new world may finally give her the life she never had. Before disappearing, the original girl reveals that her death was not an accident, and begs her to take revenge on those who hurt her. But before she can reveal the name, her voice fades and she vanishes. Our female lead realizes that in the novel, both she and Mr. Yan were never meant to have a happy ending. He was loyal, believing he was the true male lead, yet the story reduced him to a tragic side character whose life would be ruined. She understands that her divorce plan was only to escape this fate, but since divorce is no longer possible, she decides to rewrite destiny herself. First, she must protect Mr. Yan, because he is her biggest support and the one who keeps her powerful. Just then, her younger sister calls, inviting her to P's birthday party, and shamelessly refers to Mr. Yan as Brother Yan. She immediately shuts her down, reminding her to show respect because he is her husband. In the past, this sister had created chaos, crying and even starving herself because she wanted to marry Mr. Yan, but their parents rejected her, and the marriage went to our female lead. As the young lady of the Yan family, she proudly attends the grand birthday event with Mr. Yan. The party is extravagant, filled with political and business elites celebrating the novel true heroine P. Guests whisper in admiration about President Yan, calling him handsome and powerful, yet regretting that he married young. Some claim only P. matches his status, while mocking his simple wife, unaware that the so-called simple woman has already decided to change the entire story. At the party, some girls mock her simple dress, saying she is not worthy of President Yan, and that their marriage is only for business with no feelings. She calmly thanks them for caring about her family matters and makes one thing clear: no matter what kind of marriage it is, she's the legal wife of Mr. Yan, and that fact will never change. Before they can argue, Mr. Yan steps in with cold anger and warns them to stay away from his wife, leaving them speechless. Later, when he is pulled aside for business, a girl approaches, calling him Brother Yan. Our female lead instantly blocks her, asking who she is and why she is looking for her husband. The girl claims to be her sister, but she recognizes her as the same jealous troublemaker from before. When the girl tries to act arrogant and even raises her hand, our female lead grabs it first and slaps her back, shocking everyone. She boldly threatens that if she continues creating drama, she will push her face straight into the birthday cake. Mr. Yan watches in surprise, realizing the once timid wife now stands fearless against the person she feared most. The jealous girl tries to play victim, but instead, our female lead mocks her flirting skills and says, "If you want to attract a man, you should be direct." Then, without hesitation, she pulls Mr. Yan close and kisses him right in front of everyone. The sudden, bold move leaves him completely stunned as she spins him in the kiss with confidence so intense that he almost crashes into the table. When she finally lets go, he can only stare at her as if seeing her for the first time. And for the first time, the story truly begins to change. She releases Huan and calmly says, "Little sister, if you want to win a man, you must be bold." Huan stubbornly claims that Brother Yan will never fall for her, but Mr. Yan coldly corrects her, saying, "If you had any sense, you would call me brother-in-law, not brother." When she shamelessly confesses her feelings, he replies that her behavior disgusts him, while his eyes remain fixed on his wife. She shrugs and says, "Do not stare at me. I never told her to like you." Suddenly, their parents arrive and slap Huan for crossing the line, forcing her to apologize. But she refuses and runs away while everyone watches in shock. Mr. Yan still cannot take his eyes off his wife, and she teasingly asks, "Husband, am I looking too beautiful today?" He demands an explanation for that bold kiss, but she casually reminds him they are married, and if he wants freedom, he can pay the full divorce price and she will leave at once. At that moment, the true novel heroine, Miss P, makes her grand entrance, stunning the crowd with her beauty and elegance. Guests whisper in admiration, and our female lead instantly switches tone, praising Miss P as talented, noble, and perfect, even joking that such a goddess should marry into the Yan family. Everyone turns in confusion because she clearly hints at her own husband. Mr. Yan grabs her angrily, warning her not to embarrass him since she is still his wife. She reminds him that divorce is coming soon. Just then, Miss P loudly makes her birthday wish, asking for an internship at Yan Group so she can stay by Brother Yan's side. Turning sweetly to him, she asks if he will grant it, and before he can respond, his bold wife mischievously asks, "So, will you marry her then?" Without hesitation, Mr. Yan firmly answers no, and the tension in the room rises once again as the story moves toward an even bigger storm. Suddenly, the air in the hall shifts and objects begin to tremble, as if the novel world itself is forcing the scene. Mr. Yan had clearly said no, but under invisible pressure, he is forced to say yes. Our female lead realizes the system is controlling him, because in this story, he cannot reject the true heroine. She notices a glowing circle above Miss Pe that only she can see, proving Pe is protected by the novel. Miss Pe confidently steps forward for a hug, saying she knew he would never refuse her, but instead, Mr. Yan angrily grabs his wife's hand and refuses to hug Pei. He seems confused himself, wondering why he can reject Pei when he holds his wife's hand tightly. Pei sweetly claims they grew up like siblings and asks if she minds. Her answer is calm and careless, saying, "Hug as much as you want. I have no problem," which leaves Mr. Yan stunned. Pei then insists on becoming his assistant, promising to report any outside affairs. Mr. Yan tries to refuse, but once again the system forces his mouth to agree. He realizes that only when he holds his wife's hand can he resist the control. After Pei leaves, our female lead feels pity for this so-called cold CEO who does not even know he is trapped inside someone else's love story. In the car, he prepares to speak, but she playfully says, "There is no need to thank me for letting you hug her. If you really want to thank me, just give me gifts, like a proper domineering CEO. Maybe that jewelry I like today?" He coldly replies that he never intended to thank her, and reminds her that until the divorce happens, she is still his wife. and should fulfill her duties. The tension between them deepens as both slowly realize this marriage is no longer part of the original script, but something entirely new waiting to unfold. She suddenly teases him, saying, "Maybe Miss Pe has lit a fire inside you, and are you asking me to put it out?" While glancing downward, he immediately calls her crazy, and she laughs, asking, "Why are you looking at me like that? Do you even have medicine for this?" He studies her seriously and says, "You have changed. You are not the same dull, obedient woman who agreed to everything. Tell me, who are you?" She stretches her finger toward him, and when he touches it, she jokingly welcomes him to the AI world of 2026. He dismisses it as nonsense, but she knows he is already questioning reality. She realizes the real tragedy in the original story begins when Pei becomes his assistant, because as the novel heroine, she carries an invisible aura that forces him to obey. So, she decides she must change the plot herself. Softly, she asks husband, "I also want to work at Yan Group." He reminds her she is already married to the president, but she argues that this marriage destroyed her career, and she wants her own path. He is shocked by her confidence, yet agrees that focusing on a career is not wrong, and allows her to join the company alongside Pei. The next day, both women enter the office, but all attention goes to Pei, as employees praise her beauty and talent. The manager proudly introduces assistant Pei, while applause fills the room, and our female lead quietly watches, realizing that as long as the heroine stands in the spotlight, she will be treated like nothing more than a background character in someone else's story. She quickly understands how powerful the heroine aura is, because wherever Pei goes, she becomes the center of attention. The manager personally takes Pei to an office near President Yan, while no one even tells our female lead where she belongs. She finally learns she has been assigned to the worst production department, where employees are sleeping, eating, and doing nothing. Instead of feeling discouraged, she steps forward and motivates them, telling them they are not trash but future rising stars. The team reveals they were about to be dismissed, but her arrival saved them and her. Confidence slowly lights a spark in their eyes. Meanwhile, Pei pretends to be kind in front of everyone, claiming she spoke to President Yan to transfer her, but he refused. Still, she brings a small project acting like a savior. Some employees praise Pei's sweetness, but one quietly notices a strange green tea scent in the air, and our female lead instantly understands the fake innocence behind it. While she begins explaining the project with determination, President Yan learns that her team has the fewest members. He wonders if she will request a transfer, but instead hears that she is motivating the department and planning to prove herself. This surprises him because for the first time, she is not running away from the script, but challenging it head-on, ready to rewrite her fate with her own strength. The assistant reports that she is actually happy in the production department, and even feels familiar there. President Yan finds this interesting, and is even more shocked to hear that she rejected several big clients recommended by P. Meanwhile, she confidently selects a small, low-profit project that others consider useless, because she already knows from the original story that this exact advertisement will go viral and make the heroine famous. This time, she decides to take that opportunity for herself. When President Yan arrives with P, he asks if she is sure about choosing such a minor project. P tries to interfere, but he suddenly holds his wife's hand and reminds everyone to call him boss. In the year, company realizing again that holding her hand helps him resist the strange system control. She warns him not to flirt at work, and walks away to focus on the project. Pei secretly sends the manager to pressure the team and snatch the project back. But our female lead boldly defends her team and refuses to give up. Despite the obstacles, they complete the advertisement. Though the team fears it has failed, suddenly the data explodes online, and the ad goes viral, bringing massive attention and profit. Entire department celebrates in disbelief. When President Yan checks the results, he sees that with only 50,000 investment, she generated 6 million in profit. She proudly tells him she never disappoints, and her so-called useless team is full of talent. For the first time, the spotlight shifts from the novel heroine to her, and President Yan begins to see that this once-ignored wife may be the real game-changer of the story. When the client decides that all future ads will be made by her team, she beams with pride. Pei immediately questions the decision, but President Yan firmly reminds her that it is his business matter. For the first time, Pei experiences rejection, and he himself realizes that this time, he refused her without even holding his wife's hand. Meanwhile, our female lead notices that the heroine aura is slowly weakening, and understands that the story can truly be changed. On the way home, He unexpectedly offers to drive her, thinking she must be tired. She teases him, asking if he suddenly cares about her, then boldly requests that he teach her driving. In her past life, she died before even getting a proper license. So this time, she wants to fulfill that small dream. He is shocked because she already has a license, and again feels she is acting like a completely different person. She jokes that she is an alien from 2026, and he secretly wonders if she just wants an excuse to be alone with him. They switch seats, and she nervously searches instructions on her phone. He asks if she fell asleep, but she quickly puts on the seatbelt and asks how to start the car. When he presses the button, she complains about the loud noise, only to learn she has been pressing the horn the whole time. As she awkwardly drives, he reminds her to turn on the headlights, and she innocently replies that it is not that dark, before he sighs and tells her, "At least switch on the rear lights." The powerful CEO who controls billion-dollar deals now finds himself teaching his unpredictable wife how to drive, while slowly realizing that this strange woman beside him has completely changed his world. She suddenly hits the brake, and he loses patience, then moves closer and gently guides her hands on the steering wheel, teaching her himself. The distance between them disappears, and for a moment the air turns quiet. She thanks him sincerely, and he realizes she truly only wanted to learn. He tells her not to stare straight ahead, but to check the mirrors left and right. She drives awkwardly, like tangled noodles, and ends up hurting her foot. When she cries out, he immediately steps out, lifts her in his arms, and carries her carefully. She thanks him again, and secretly feels how kind her husband actually is. Back home, she asks where he plans to stay tonight because he never comes home. He looks into her eyes and reminds her this is his house. She nervously blurts out, "Are you going to sleep here with me? We are almost divorced. A single man and woman cannot share a room." He calmly says, "Grandpa has already refused the divorce," and walks inside. She complains loudly about her injured foot, asking for the first aid kit. He initially refuses, but when she calls him cold-hearted, he turns back and searches for it himself, slipping slightly in his hurry. She jokes that domineering CEOs always make dramatic entrances. Then he kneels down, holds her foot gently, applies medicine slowly, and even blows on the wound so it will not hurt. When he softly asks if it still hurts, she shakes her head and realizes she misunderstood him all along. He looks at her worried and asks if he hurt her, and for the first time, she feels that this man who seemed distant and cold might actually care more than anyone ever did. Lost in her own thoughts, she suddenly leans forward and kisses him without warning. For him, that one soft kiss is enough to break all restraint. He pulls her closer and deepens it until she almost forgets to breathe. Later, while gently applying medicine to her wound, he realizes this is the first time since marriage that he kissed her by his own choice, and he silently wishes moments like this would never end. She shyly thinks his lips are softer than she imagined, and jokes to herself that before any divorce, she might steal many more kisses. Trying to hide her flustered heart, she teases him, saying, "Dominant CEOs always have doctor friends on speed dial, so he should call one." He firmly refuses, saying he will not allow any other man to treat her, and she secretly notes how possessive he sounds. When she brings up divorce again, he immediately shuts it down. So, she cleverly asks for a higher monthly allowance instead. He offers her a supplementary card. The next morning, she happily invites him to breakfast and eats with pure joy while he watches, realizing he never noticed how cute she looks when she smiles. Just then, Pei calls, saying she will pick him up, but he coldly hangs up, claiming he is not home. Moments later, she appears anyway, and sits beside him, asking if he has started living with his wife. He calmly answers, "If I do not stay with my wife, then where else should I stay?" And once again, the tension between past script and new reality grows stronger. Pei suddenly appears, acting weak and dramatic. Ting politely asks if she is fine, but Pei insists that as the president's assistant, she must always put him first. President Yan coldly replies that if she is unwell, she should stay home because no one is forcing her to come. Pei realizes he no longer supports her, and Ting cannot help smiling as she senses the heroine aura fading away. And then tells Ting that Grandpa keeps asking about her and suggests they visit him together. She happily agrees, saying, "Of course, we are husband and wife." In the car, he gently opens the door for her and protects her head, making her tease him for acting like a gentleman just for Grandpa. But he secretly wonders why she does not recognize his sincerity. At Grandpa's house, they are warmly welcomed, and Grandpa immediately scolds Yan for letting his wife become so thin. Ting defends him, saying she has been busy with work. Grandpa proudly praises her business success and reminds Yan that he chose the perfect granddaughter-in-law. Ting shows the special brooch Yan gifted her, and Grandpa reveals it is a rare new release with only one in the world. He realizes its value is far beyond money. Grandpa then warns Yan never to mention divorce again, and promises to protect her from any bullying. Ting feels deeply protected, and begins to question whether she even wants a divorce. Anymore, Yan denies ever insisting on it, and Grandpa happily declares that they must live well together. After dinner, Grandpa orders them to stay the night. Both exchange a quiet look, and inside, Yan feels a secret happiness, because for the first time, he will truly share the same roof, and perhaps the same future, with the woman who has completely changed his world. In the room, she teases him, asking why he is standing like he received punishment. He says she should rest, and that he will sleep on the sofa, but she slowly moves closer, playfully touching him and asking how he stays in such good shape despite being busy. He grabs her hand, warning that if she keeps touching him like that, he may lose control, and she quickly pulls back, saying, "Good night." Yet moments later, he slips under her blanket and holds her close, whispering that Grandpa is outside listening, so they must act like a real couple. She mischievously makes noise on purpose, saying it will convince Grandpa that something is happening. Outside, Grandpa happily misunderstands and leaves satisfied, believing great-grandchildren are on the way. Inside, the teasing turns into real emotion, and he kisses her, unable to control himself, and she responds just as passionately. When he asks why she feels so different now, she laughs and repeats that she is an alien from 2026, then shyly tells him not to secretly pinch her while she sleeps. Later, she goes to his office with homemade lunch and sweetly asks for $10 million investment for her next project. He immediately knows she wants funding, and she confidently says her courage comes from having him as her backup. He agrees on one condition, that she must take him to the movie premiere, and she happily promises the best seat. He transfers the money and smiles as he tastes the lunch, realizing this is the first time she has ever brought food to him at work, even when the movie does not perform well in local cinemas. She stays calm and tells her team to rest. When Pei and her manager try to mock and recruit her team, they firmly refuse, declaring loyalty to their boss. Soon, unexpected news arrives that the film is gaining massive attention overseas, proving once again that this unpredictable wife is rewriting the story step by step and turning every setback into a new victory. Later at dinner, Ting asks why he suddenly came home early. He calmly reveals that he arranged a celebration party for her success and wants her to attend with him. She freezes for a second, remembering that in the original novel, this very party was where the true hero and heroine were meant to connect. She hides her thoughts and says, after tomorrow, everything will change. He teasingly asks if she has found another way to make money. At the party, she arrives in a stunning red dress, pretending to be bored while sipping a drink. Pei walks over, asking where President Yan is. Ting coolly replies that she does not know. P insists that as his wife, she should know, then drags her to search for him. The moment P spots Yan, she rushes toward him, and guests whisper about how intensely she looks at him. P pretends to be innocent, worrying that Ting might misunderstand, but Yan calmly states that he was only looking at his wife, not at P. Ting is surprised, while P confirms that he never took his eyes off Ting. When she keeps praising the new handsome heir, Yan cannot hide his irritation and questions how she knows so much about him. She casually says she only heard about him from others, but the man soon walks over and greets Pei warmly, claiming he came especially for her. Ting quietly tells Yan not to feel sad because this is something they cannot control, hinting that in the original story, he was only the second lead. Yan misunderstands and thinks she is comparing him and grows even colder. When he asks who she would choose, she immediately says she would choose her husband, because he has always supported her. Yet, he still walks away upset. Pei begins considering the new heir after realizing Yan Heart already belongs to Ting. While Ting feels believing the tragic script has finally changed, she even jokingly blesses Pei and the heir for a future together, then runs off to find Yan. She finds him outside drinking and sits beside him, warning him not to drink too much. He admits he felt uncomfortable watching her admire another man. She smiles and tells him everyone could see his jealousy. He asks what he should do then, and in that quiet, charged moment, it becomes clear that the powerful CEO who once followed the novel's script is now openly fighting for his own feelings and for the woman beside him. She jokingly says she has been drinking that tonic since childhood, and it never worked, so maybe the tonic itself is the problem. Then she pretends to drop it. Mom becomes emotional, saying she spent all day making it. But Ting sees through the guilt trap. Soon, President Yan arrives and firmly declares that only he has a place in his wife's heart, making the room fall silent. He stays the night and later quietly investigates the strange photos and realizes something suspicious has been happening whenever she visits her parents' house. That night, he sleeps on the sofa, but in her sleep, she walks over and curls beside him. He gently kisses her forehead and holds her close. In the morning, she wakes up shocked and quickly checks if she did anything inappropriate while he watches her panic with hidden amusement. She runs away embarrassed, and he leaves for work, saying he will come back to pick her up. Later, her mother curiously asks how she and Yan suddenly became so close when he once disliked her, and it becomes clear that the distance between husband and wife has almost completely disappeared, replaced by growing trust, warmth, and a bond that no longer follows the old tragic script. She playfully tells her mother that she is simply too cute and that her husband has fallen in love with her, then walks away smiling. Soon she calls Yan, and he reveals the shocking truth that her mother planned to exchange her luck with her brother, meaning she was ready to sacrifice her own daughter for her son's life. Before he can rush to her, Pei appears, saying she wants to leave Yan Group, and he coldly directs her to HR, showing he no longer cares. Meanwhile, her mother visits a fake mystic who gives her a talisman to destroy Ting good fortune. She hands it to Ting, pretending it is a temple blessing, but Ting cleverly passes it to her jealous sister, who angrily snatches it and tears it apart. When the brother suddenly falls ill, the mother blames Ting and even tries to attack her, but Yan arrives in time, declares that his wife will never return to this house and protects her. When the mother recklessly drives toward Ting, he pulls her away just in time. Later, the desperate mother begs Ting to donate her organs to save her brother, but Ting calmly exposes everything, revealing that the so-called mystic was a fraud who cheated many families and is now in jail. She shows the news proving the truth and declares that blind superstition almost cost her life. The illusion breaks, and for the first time she stands free from the family that tried to sacrifice her, proving that she is no longer the tragic side character, but the master of her own destiny. The truth finally comes out that her mother never treated her son properly and trusted superstition instead. So the police take her away, and the dark chapter ends. In the car, Ting moves close to Yan and softly says thank you, knowing that because of him, she was able to completely change her tragic fate. He teases that words are not enough, so she kisses him, asking if that counts. He pulls her closer, saying it counts, but is still not enough, and they share a deep kiss, sealing everything they have survived together. Later at home, she pretends to ignore him, joking with the assistant that her husband only gives her money and never disturbs her life of luxury. Assistant leaves and Yan drops the drunk act, stepping behind her and wrapping his arms around her waist, asking if she really wants a rich life without her husband. She laughs and admits she was only teasing, and in that honest moment, both finally confess their feelings. No more second leads, no more rewritten scripts, just two people choosing each other. From that day forward, they stay together happily, proving that destiny can be changed when love is real. And with that, their story comes to a beautiful end. Subscribe to watch more videos. Thanks for watching this till the end.